Hi everyone, welcome to Clutch Entertainment today, and today we'll be talking about my favorite top 10 movie series of all time. Some of these are movies that are clumped in a series, some of these are, individual movies. These are just a bunch of movies that I grew up with and I really like, and it just was a lot of fun watching these movies, and I always have good replay value with all of them. Definitely love and enjoy watching them, and so let's get right into the list, and I'll explain a little bit each of them, and we'll talk about each one individually and see if we can get you guys to eventually want to watch them. So let's get right into it. So my number 10 movie is Holes. I remember when I was in middle school, we read the book Holes, and the movie I think came out around the same time. So basically, it's about this guy named Stanley, which is in the bottom left. It's played by Shia LaBeouf. He was the guy who played Transformers, but this is him when he was a kid. He's in the bottom left there. Basically, these guys in holes, they try to dig holes, and then they try to discover, if they can find the hidden treasure of gold. And if they can find the hidden treasure of gold, then they don't have to dig anymore. So it's kind of like a kid prison labor camp, which is kind of weird. But these guys have done certain crimes, and they got sent here. And they're working for this warden that wants them to dig until they find the treasure. The treasure of, I forgot his name, but basically they need to find this treasure. And once they find the treasure, then, they won't be digging holes anymore. But supposedly the operation is all abuse because, you're not supposed to have child labor camps. It's supposed to be just for hard work, and the government didn't really know about it. The welfare people didn't. So basically they go through that, and that's basically the main plot of the story. But it's a really good movie. I personally would give it an 8 or 9 out of 10, as far as the story. The book is really good too. It pretty much, I think it's almost dead on accurate, but there's a few things missing out from the book. But overall, the movie Holes is a really good movie, and I would recommend anyone should watch it if they get the chance. So number 9 for me would be the Lord of the Rings. So basically, Lord of the Rings has 3 movies. There's also The Hobbit. I'm not including this in this list, but The Two Towers, Return of the King, and what's the first Lord of the Rings? I can't remember. But anyway, that trilogy was made in the early 2000s, I believe. But it's a story of Frodo. Basically, he's the guy on the right side there in the middle. He has to bring the ring to Mordor, and he has to destroy it. So that's the whole story of Lord of the Rings. And basically, the guy in the back is Aragorn. He's trying to protect Frodo and help guide him there. But there's a lot of good content in these. There's actually extended movie editions and such. So it's a really good movie to watch, especially if you like Middle Ages type of movies, or if you like different kind of content with swords and horses, and it's a really cool movie. Movies, I should say. And it's got a little bit of little magic stuff in there and stuff like that. There's elves, there's dwarves, there's orcs, there's just a lot of mythical creatures, I would say. But overall, Lord of the Rings is a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it. The 3 movies that I watched with it, and I would definitely recommend anyone who is a movie lover to check it out. And it's a good set of movies, and you should definitely take a look at it. So let's go to the next one. So number 8 I have is Flubber. So basically it's flying rubber. So that's Robin Williams right there with the flubber in his hand. So basically he creates this synthetic material of rubber and this gel, and he makes it flying rubber, and he calls it flubber. And basically he uses the flubber to make things bounce, to make things more elastic, just in general. And he tries to impress his woman with this experiment that he discovered. So overall, Flubber is more of a comedy movie. It's kind of pretty funny. there's one part in it where the flubber like expands to the size of a woman's butt or something. It's just really funny. But it just bounces around, does certain things, makes any kind of like substance, like it's basically a substance too that can make like bowling balls or golf balls or anything that it touches bounce. Like, so it can probably make like literally a car bounce or a tree bounce or anything. Anything. You just got to stick the stuff on it. But overall, I really enjoyed Flubber, and I definitely recommend you should check it out too. So number 7, I would say the Spider-Man series, the Sam Raimi series, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3. They were in the 2000s, but basically Tobey Maguire is the Spider-Man, and he's a really good Spider-Man, I think. Probably the best one. He's got a lot of memes associated with him. There's the my back joke, my back, and there's the also like his dance where he's dancing like this, you know. There's a lot of different memes you get off the movies, but overall, besides the memes, like the movies are really great overall. Like how Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man, like how he's bit by the spider, and like shows the origin story, and he faced off against Green Goblin and a couple other villains, and I really enjoyed the 3 movies in the series here, and I would say it's number 7 all time for me. I just really enjoyed it overall. So let's get on to the number 6. So number 6, I would say, is the Batman Dark Knight series. So these came out during the 2000s also. Christian Bale is the Batman in this, and he is a really good Batman. It's more of like a darker tone Batman. So like, you know, like how there's some Batmans that are like overjoyed and stuff like that, but this Batman's more of like a dark, serious tone. And Christian Bale really nails it, and the Joker in it is really, really well written, and even like there's like villains like Two-Face and what's his name, Bane, and just a whole wide variety of villains in it that, you know, you get to see, and you get to see Batman take on. And Batman in the end doesn't want to be remembered as like the hero. He wants to put others before himself, which that's what makes Batman so selfless. But overall, I would definitely recommend watching the Dark Knight series. It's a really good series to watch, and there's 3 movies to it, so definitely check it out. It's during the early 2000s. So number 5 for me would be the Mighty Ducks. It's a series of movies about how these kids grew up and they play on like an amateur hockey team and they become the Ducks, and they do all kinds of funny, goofy things, and it's an ice hockey movie. So basically, it's about the sport of hockey, and they're just trying to move up and win the local Pee Wee trophy, the first one, and then the second one they're trying to win like a high school, and then the third one they're trying to win like a collegiate or a college version. But there's like all kinds of like mini jokes within the storyline, and it's a really good series to, you know, watch and have a good time, and just watch in general just to see like how funny it is, because it's a really funny series overall. And I think there's like the best part is the knuckle puck, and like the second or third one where they raise it up and then they take a slap shot and it's a knuckle puck, and the puck just like is so hard hit, it hits the goalie in the head and knocks him out. It's just really funny overall. But I would definitely recommend checking the Mighty Ducks series out. And yeah, so let's get to number 4 here. So number 4, I would say The Passion of the Christ is number 4 for me. Really well written movie about Jesus Christ. It's played by Jim Caviezel, but he really, you know, there was a lot of things that went along with, you know, in production with this. How, you know, he was like struck by lightning, and like even like a whip hit him and he was like bleeding a lot and like hurt, you know, like a lot of things like tried to prevent him from filming this movie. But it was a really, really strong movie because it accurately shows like how bad Jesus was really beaten. Like it shows like what he did for our sins, and what how Jesus really helped us out in our lives. And I would not, you know, pass up any kind of chance to see this movie again if I do. Like I have the DVD, so I try to watch it every year during Lent. But like if anyone's like out there like what is this movie about? Like it's about the passion of Jesus. It's about how Jesus died for our sins and how much he sacrificed for us for real. So I would definitely check it out. It's a really, really great movie. I mean, it might be a little hard for people who are like have blood and gore issues, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie because it shows how accurate Jesus is. But it's a really sad movie in the same way because, Jesus died for our sins and you see how bad he's beaten. But overall, there's some hope, because he rose from the dead. But you already know the story, but you need to see like what happened. So now we're going on to number 3. So number 3, I would say for me is the Rocky series. So Rocky's on the right there. He is played by Sylvester Stallone. He goes through like the the amateur boxing league, and he gets randomly picked by Apollo on the left, the black guy right there. And he basically says, I want a local Philadelphia fighter. So he gives the local Philadelphia fighter, Rocky, a chance to fight him. So in the end, they go the full distance. I think it's 15 rounds, and Apollo wins by split decision. That's the first one. And then the second one, he gets a rematch. But basically, it just goes on from that. He fights against a Russian. He fights against Mr. T. He fights against, like, Tommy Gunn. Like, there's a lot of different fights that Rocky takes in, but he's always a fighter that never gives up, and he always pushes to the end. And that's what I really like about the movies. Like, it tells the story of an underdog fighter that always fights hard and pushes to the end and never gives up. And it's got a lot of life lessons in it, and I would definitely recommend watching it because, life lessons are important, and some of these movies inspire us to do better. And this is one movie that does. So let's get to number 2. So number 2 for me all time is The Miracle on Ice. The Miracle on Ice is a movie about the 1980s USA hockey team facing off against Soviet Russia, who had won I think 2 or 3 Olympics in a row, or 4 Olympics in a row, something like that. And they kept getting gold every year. And USA comes in here underdogs, and they're just these amateur players that come in to try to win the overall gold medal. And during this time was the Cold War, so especially like beating Russia would be really important to beat, like for a team like USA to win, because they're in the Cold War at this time, and just pride for your country, and USA like ends up facing Russia, and it just tells the true story about how US beat Russia in the Olympics in 1980. So I would definitely recommend watching it. It's a really inspiring story. It's a really underdog story, another one. And any kind of underdog story is always great because, you see how the characters grow and how they get to the point where they can succeed. So that would be number 2 for me. And my number 1 of all time would be the Star Wars series. So I don't really include the sequel trilogy. The sequel trilogy. So basically episodes 7, 8, and 9. I don't really care for those movies. This is just 1 through 6. 1 through 6 are the true movies to me. I love episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Episode 4 and 5, I grew up all the time, watching them all the time. I could literally quote some of the battles word for word. That's how great they are. But it's basically a sci-fi about these Jedis that fight through the galaxy, and they have to get rid of the evil empire in the end. And overall, it's about triumph. It's about never giving up. It's about about looking for your friends and your colleagues to help you succeed, and trusting in yourself to do your best. And that's what I really like about Star Wars. That's the main lesson. And it's a really great movie to watch, and I would definitely recommend watching it if you get a chance. I'm sure most of you have already seen it, but overall I would say it's my top movie of all time, movie series, because it's got a lot to it. It's got a lot to talk about. I can't talk about this all in 15 minutes. That's how awesome the movie is. But overall, I would definitely recommend it, and I would definitely I definitely watch it all the time when I get the chance, and it's definitely a great movie to watch, and just take a look at it and see what you think. So hopefully all the movies today that I presented to you were good movies that you want to check out, and hopefully I gave a little bit of an explanation of each of them so that you could take a look at them and see how you think of them. And if you have any other questions, you can like, subscribe, and that would be great. And just comment in the comment section below what's your favorite. So just just let me know what you think. And thank you very much for everyone watching, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.